Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the invisible system of the subscription economy, a trap that, let's be honest, most of us feel completely stuck inside. It's something we interact with literally every single day, yet we rarely stop to actually look at it. We're going to see how modern companies completely transformed our everyday lives into a never-ending series of permanent payments. And, spoiler alert, how they pulled it off by subtly hacking our psychology.
Think about it. Just a few years ago, you bought products once, right? Now, you rent access to almost everything. We're talking music, software, food delivery, dating apps, and, no joke, even the heated seats in your own car now require a monthly fee. It's wild. And it begs this really unsettling question. Why did ownership just quietly disappear? Why did companies completely stop wanting us to make one-time purchases?
Well, the stark reality here is that companies had a light bulb moment. They realized they didn't actually need you to keep buying new things. They just needed you to never, ever leave. The absolute most profitable customer isn't the one who makes a single massive purchase. Nope, it's the one who just keeps paying forever. It is a massive, fundamental shift in business logic that completely rewired modern consumerism.
So let's jump into Section 1, the death of ownership, moving from buying to renting.
It wasn't that long ago that you'd go out and buy a physical DVD, a CD, maybe a software disc, and you owned it for good. Done deal. Fast forward to today, and you're just renting access through Netflix, Spotify, or software as a service. You don't actually own the movies, the music, or the tools anymore. You're literally just renting the right to use them for the next 30 days.
So why the massive shift? Well, this transition solved Wall Street's absolute biggest headache, which was unpredictable income. By replacing one-off sales with a constant, reliable stream of cash, companies unlocked the holy grail, recurring revenue. Investors absolutely love this model because it relies on retention economics. It makes cash flow perfectly predictable. But here's the really fascinating part. Subscriptions didn't explode just because they were great for the corporate bottom line.
Which brings us to Section 2, the psychology of autopay, and how it completely changed human behavior.
Imagine if I asked you to hand me $120 in cash right this second. Your brain would immediately react with a sharp psychological pain. Seriously, the human brain genuinely hurts when handing over a large chunk of cash all at once. There is intense resistance, a ton of friction in that transaction. You stop, you think, and you seriously evaluate, do I really need this?
But frame that exact same yearly cost as a tiny $10 recurring charge, it completely bypasses your resistance. Losing $10 a month forever feels vastly different to our brains than dropping $120 all at once. It totally sneaks past our internal alarms. Suddenly, it's just a small, harmless drop in the bucket.
And let's be real, it is never just one subscription. It's music, movies, software, food delivery, cloud storage, and that gym membership you totally forgot about 3 years ago. The cognitive overload of stacking all these tiny charges basically exploits our habit loops. We sign up and the sheer volume of these financial commitments just fades into background noise. We literally lose track. We end up suffering from subscription fatigue while the charges just silently, relentlessly hit our bank accounts.
The crazy thing is, modern systems aren't even competing for your initial purchase anymore. They are competing to become a permanent, entirely unnoticed fixture in your life. Welcome to the era of frictionless payments. Companies have practically weaponized our own forgetfulness. By stripping away the pain of spending, they're no longer just monetizing a product, they are actively monetizing our inattention.
Let's move into Section 3, the convenience trap. It's essentially a financial anesthetic.
The golden rule of the modern economy is surprisingly simple. The easier spending becomes, the less visible it feels. Convenience, stuff like digital wallets, Apple Pay, one-click purchasing, those seamless delivery apps. All of this was introduced to us as this magical, life-improving feature. But in reality, it acts exactly like a financial anesthetic, completely numbing your awareness of money actually leaving your wallet. You can see how this descends through a highly predictable, engineered funnel. It strips away the friction that actually used to protect us from overspending. We kick things off with the desire for instant gratification, right? Which is then satisfied by automatic payments. Before long, our financial decisions become entirely passive. And finally, we hit rock bottom, invisible billing, where subscriptions just quietly renew month after month without an ounce of conscious approval from us.
This deep dependency leads to a pretty unsettling realization. The perfect business model isn't actually about convincing you to add more items to your cart. No,
It's about creating an environment where you simply stop noticing that you're buying anything at all. All right, Section 4, the business of retention. This is all about engineered dependency.
When you look at the numbers, there is an absolutely massive difference in the lifetime value of a retained subscriber compared to just a one-time buyer. And this is exactly why companies make leaving so incredibly difficult. They trap us in this fragmented digital ecosystem, often using sneaky dark UX patterns just to prevent you from finding that cancel button. They bundle services and layer these ecosystems for one simple reason: to squeeze out your maximum lifetime value.
The shift in corporate metrics here is just profound. Think about it. Wall Street no longer rewards companies for making amazing products you love and want to buy again. Nope, it rewards companies for building locked-in ecosystems that you simply cannot leave. They don't actually want your loyalty. Loyalty implies you have a choice, and you're choosing them. What they want is dependency. To them, you're no longer just a consumer, you are a recurring revenue stream.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the invisible cost. Let's look at this modern financial drain.
When we really break down this subscription exhaustion, a pretty uncomfortable truth emerges. We totally traded owning physical products for renting temporary access. Our visible, conscious spending morphed into this invisible, ongoing drain. And maybe most importantly, our independent digital identities, our tools, our entertainment, our habits, are now completely tied up in subscriptions. We are essentially renting access to our very own daily routines.
And look, getting out is not easy. Ripping out these subscriptions feels genuinely emotionally uncomfortable because we're terrified of losing access. If you cancel your cloud storage, well, you lose your family photos. If you cancel your software, your workflow breaks. This fear locks us right into a state of permanent normalized financial drain. The entire system is literally designed to work best when you just stop thinking about it.
Subscriptions didn't take over the world because we all suddenly demanded them. They took over because they quietly rewired how modern spending feels to us. As this final quote really hammers home, the most dangerous expenses aren't those giant one-time hits to your wallet. They're the tiny ones that slip quietly into the background. Because once those payments become invisible, the system doesn't need your attention anymore. It just needs your checking account. So I'll leave you with this. Take a hard look at your bank statement today and ask yourself, what are you still paying for and who actually owns your digital life?